Oh, I'm going to Instagram.
We're live. I'm trying to bring up Instagram. Uh, okay, it should be on. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Book Buzz Show. I'm your host, Cheryl Brooks. And if you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. We have a great show in store for you this evening. We're going to actually be talking about two books, so we're going to get right into it. The first book that we're going to talk about is Macy by Marlee Rae. And let me bring up the cover to see it. It's a beautiful cover. Me and Katina were just talking about this.
Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. I
Beautiful,
love it.
beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Gorgeous,
Mm.
gorgeous cover.
I didn't think you could top the first one.
Right.
And it didn't.
And you know how much I love that brown sugar cover too.
Yeah.
I'm
All
glad
right.
you like it.
Yeah. How do you choose your covers? Do you do it yourself or
That Macy, I did do myself.
okay.
Brown sugar, no, I did use a designer to um to to do the cover for me. And you just kind of go through. They ask you questions like what the book is about, or really what your vision is for the book. So um,
Mm,
I told her what the vision was and what I was thinking that I wanted on it. And you know how you have ideas of what you want, but you can't really choose it. And then once you put it together, I was like, okay, yep, that's it, that's it.
right, that's it.
Yeah, but with
Yeah.
Macy, because I did that book, we was a co-book with another author, Bailey West. We did the covers together. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I love that. I have to have her back on the show too.
Mhm.
Okay, it looks like we have a few people in the audience. Hi Jerry, I'm glad you were able to make it this evening. This is a good one for you, Jerry, as I was telling you.
Yes. Good one.
Hi Myra, thank you for joining us this evening. Hi Erica. I know Erica, she couldn't believe it when I had told her before that I hadn't read you yet.
Okay,
She's like, what
Erica.
are you waiting on, Cheryl? Hi Francis. Hi Jennifer. Jennifer, you were on the last time we had Marlee Rae on.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying hello, everyone.
Hey,
All
Jennifer.
right, so I started asking. I did ask a few things when you were on last time, but I changed up the questions for like the
Okay.
romance authors. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is, what's a favorite romantic gesture made by one of your characters that stands out to you?
I would have to say it's always the wink for me. I
Yeah.
put every book is gonna have a wink in it. Yeah, a man that
I'm
I
trying to
let the
remember. Did I have? Was it a weekend?
it had to be.
Yes.
It had to be. I love them.
Yes.
Oh,
First
that's
and
the
wait.
wink is my thing.
That's your thing. Okay.
That's my thing. Yeah, nice looking guy wink at me. I'm cheesing all day. So yeah.
Right, right. I actually like that too. I actually like that too. What's the most overused romantic cliche that you secretly love? And you all let us know in the comments
Ooh.
too. What's an overused cliche that you love in romance?
I think it's the secret affair, and not necessarily like nobody knows what's going on. So it's the secret romance that I like. So it's just the
Okay,
two of them. Like
okay.
okay, we're not gonna tell anybody, and it's just the two of us. So I
Ah,
think that's probably my favorite. Like they're kind of living in a bubble for a little while, and of
Right,
course it all goes
right, right.
away.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But
like
I
that too.
like that.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
And that's different. I like that because we've had everything from secret
Yeah.
babies to all kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
but I like that. Okay, so because we're talking about two books today, um,
Mhm.
oh, before we get into that, I almost forgot. Do you have your bookshelf Rex
I
that you?
do.
Okay.
I do. So, of course, since we're going to talk about Macy, I have to recommend her counterpart, which is going to be Anuri by Bailey West. The
Mhm.
books are happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I have to, that's going to, if you're going to read Macy, you got to read Anuri too, just to, put them
Yes,
together so it all makes sense. Um, and
and
I would
I
say,
agree with that. I love that book as
yeah,
well.
you got to read both of them.
Hmm.
And I think the second book that it's a book by, it's called Glory Bishop, and it's by Deborah King. It's not a romance novel, but it's just kind of a, it was a, the, I guess the storyline is written probably back in the 70s in Chicago, and it's
Okay.
so hard to explain, but it is a fantastic and well written book, and it's not your typical, definitely not a romance book, but it's a fantastic story, almost like a coming of age story of a young
Okay.
black girl that is living in Chicago who has a mother who's kind of overbearing and all of that, and it's a good book. It's a very good read. So that's one of my favorites, and I would
Just
say,
wrote it down.
yep, yeah. And I would say my all time, my favorite novel is called The House at Sugar Beach. It's by Helene Cooper, and it's The House at Sugar Beach in Search of an African Childhood. And it's really about the system. It's about Liberia and what happened in Liberia back in the 70s when they had a coup and all of that. So it's just, but it's a true story. So it's
Oh,
actually,
really?
yeah, Helene Cooper, she's actually was living, she's from Liberia. And of course, she was,
Hmm.
it talks about, how the slaves and how the family came back from America and how the lineage was there. And then it talks about, goes into detail about the coup and when her
Okay.
family had to flee and come to the U.S. So it's a
Okay.
true story, and but it's a really, it's like my all time favorite book.
Okay. So I have two more to add to my list. I already read Anuri.
Hmm.
Although I still need to get the print copy of that and Macy.
Okay.
Um, but I've read both of them. But I'm gonna add the other two to my list.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So we're going to get into the book and the characters a bit, and we're going to start with Macy. For those who haven't read Macy yet, I know there's a few out here that are new to you. Can you give them a brief overview of what Macy is about?
So Macy is it's a story about a young lady who is newly divorced. She has a kid. She's kind of been in a marriage with a controlling husband, and not abusive, but just
Right.
kind of undercover controlling to where she didn't even
Hmm.
realize she was. So it was more, it wasn't overt. She was kind of being controlled and manipulated, and she really didn't know. And once she figured out what was going on, she's like, okay, I got to kind of get out of this marriage. So the story
Hmm.
kind of opens up with her, she's divorced and her kid have moved, and she's left her career as a pharmaceutical sales rep. She's now into she's a beautician, and it's something that she always wanted to do, but of course the
Hmm.
controlling husband was like, I don't want you doing that, so he kind
Right.
of steered her away from it. But now she is kind of coming into herself, and it's really about the story of her finding herself as well as finding a love, and the love appreciating her for who she is and just letting her be her, and just the way she navigates that, the way she navigates it, the new life with her son, as well as making amends with her former husband, and then both
Hmm.
coming to grips with how he was and the things that happened. So that's it in
Right.
a nutshell. I see Katina's face.
Right. And I think even though she wasn't true aware of how controlling Anderson truly was, she was
Mhm.
so in, and I think a lot of women can relate to this. She wanted to please her husband so much so,
Hmm.
um, but she was kind of like dimming her own, like suppressing her own passion for what her creative passion of things that she wanted to do. And I think it came to a head, if I remember, when she did decide to go work at Whip and Fade or at
Hmm.
Whip,
Mhm.
and he had a problem with it.
Yeah, he wanted her. He's like, okay, well, just go do it part time, or just do it, just do this.
Right.
Mhm.
And when she really wanted to go into it, he just was not. He tried to kind of punish her, like, okay, well,
Right,
I'm gonna cut you off from the money, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. And
right.
Yeah.
I think he really, because they have been together since college. I think he did not think that she would actually leave him. So
Hmm. Hmm. And you
yeah,
see
Yeah.
that a lot too in reality.
Mhm.
yeah.
Erica was
But
saying,
I also think because you spelled it out in the book too of where that came from with how she handled him
Hmm.
as far as arguments and things and how she thought her
right,
parents
right.
relationship
I
Hmm.
noted
was
that too.
versus what it actually
Right.
was. Uh, and of course, she didn't see that until she was in her
Mhm.
30s.
Mhm.
Uh, and knew that it wasn't what she thought it was. That she thought she had to just follow whatever he said,
Right.
and that would make her marriage like successful, just like her
Right.
parents. But that was far from
Mhm.
the truth.
And that's why I think it's so
So,
important that you show that you don't try to paint this picture that's not accurate, that's not reality
Right.
right,
for your kid,
right.
unless it's like abusive or something like that. Of course, you don't want
Right.
them around stuff like that. But then I would hope you would leave. Um, but yeah, she thought it was a certain way with her mother and father, and then she finds out as an adult that her mother was no pushover, no slouch, and really she was the dominant in
Right.
the
Right.
relationship.
Mhm.
She
Mhm.
was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She
So I thought that
was.
was interesting.
Very.
Erica is saying he was insecure about his place in her life. He was.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
let a lot of, and we found out later that he let a lot of like things that were ingrained in him from his family
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
steer as far as how he moved with her.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
both had images of what they thought the relationship should be and the
Mm-hmm.
marriage should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he wasn't, again, he wasn't a bad person, but he
Right.
had decided
No.
the way the relationship should be. And she had a picture as well. So she says, well, if I do this, then I'm supposed to follow my husband because that's what my mother did. And
Mm-hmm.
in his mind, he's like, well, my family told me that if I do, I don't want to be associated with anything with what my family used to do. They all told me that I need to have, a quote, I need to have a white collar job. I
Right.
don't can't do
Mhm.
any kind of service, or we need to have white collar jobs, and we need to live in a gated community, and we need to be the ones that have made it. So in his mind, that's what he was doing. So
Right.
Mhm.
just he was trying to do what he thought was best, but again, he was manipulating her while trying to do it.
Right. So he
So
wasn't totally innocent because
right,
he
right.
knew what
As
he was
opposed to
doing.
having a conversation
Right.
with her
Right.
and saying, "This is
Mhm.
my view. What do you think? Are you on
Right.
board with it?" He was like, "Oh, you gonna do what
Yeah.
I tell you to do, and I'm just gonna trick you. That's all."
And Yolanda is saying they outgrew each other. Yeah,
Yes.
I think yeah.
I agree. I
Yeah.
They
agree.
outgrew each other, and I think
Mhm.
she was never being really authentic with him.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
so
I
yeah,
think
so
so too.
that's yeah.
No.
Um, yeah, in the beginning, Anderson, I was like, mm-mm, he can get it for real. Like get it this way, not
Yeah.
Yeah. No. No. That way.
But you know what I thought was funny? I love the side characters in all of the books that I've read in this community. And I loved how the
Yes.
barbers on the fade side, what did they call him?
They called him
Some
Um,
county, some county,
Charles
West County.
West County,
West
West
County.
County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he thought he was so above everybody in
Mhm.
Greenwood.
Yeah.
Um, but like here go West County, but yeah, I just love.
They had a name for
They did.
everybody.
They did.
For
Oh
everybody.
man. Okay, so then Macy decides enough is enough, and like you said, she leaves the marriage. They
Right.
co-parent their teenage son Andy. I can say that I think that they co-parented well because they made sure they kept anything negative away from Andy.
Hmm.
They tried to, not bring the drama to him. What you think, Katina?
This is interesting because it made me think about my own way that I manage arguments in my children, and I started thinking, is it? But I mean, because it's not like you have a knockdown
Right.
dragouts. It's just a disagreement, and I was thinking it probably would be good to see
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
because they have to resolve
Hmm.
conflict in relationships. They have to resolve conflicts at
Right.
work and wherever else, in Walmart. I
Hmm.
don't know. They'll have to do it somewhere. So I think, and to some extent, I think it might not do the child a good service to not see, them have some type of,
And that actually is a good point because it brings it back around to what Macy thought as far as her parents.
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
So was that intentional, putting that in there as far as the different, as far as how she thought with her parents and the dynamics with him and his family.
So a lot of times when I'm writing, it just I don't know what my intentions are half the time. I just write the story as I envision it, and as it comes to me. So it just kind of works out that way. But
Mm,
because I'm very big on like family and friends and things like that, I always tend to write a heavy family focused portion of
okay.
my book, and it just again it's just natural because that's kind of how just kind of how I am, and it's kind of how I guess my family life is with my family and my friends, and because we all in each other's business in my family,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it's always been like that. So
Right.
I don't know anything different, and
Right.
I was at one point in time I lived away from my family, and I think my sister or somebody called me and asked me where somebody was, and I could tell her, and one of my friends was like, "How you don't even live there?" I was like, I don't know, but it's like there's if you can't find somebody, it's only gonna take a second, and
Right.
somebody doesn't know where you
Right.
are,
Right.
or that's gonna be another topic. So yeah, so
I
I don't.
love that though. I
Yeah,
love it.
so yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the only. So when I write, of course, naturally, who I am is gonna come
That
out
makes
in a
sense.
lot of the characters and a lot of the book, and really a lot of the plots too, like the background story, especially the family issue. So
Right. Right.
it
And
just
I
it
think I
just
meant
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
yeah.
think I mentioned to you last time that that's one of my favorite things that I read in the previous series that we read of yours, She
Hmm.
Is
Oh
series.
yeah, huh?
Yep, and the family dynamics. That's another good one for you all in the comments, in the audience. If you haven't read anything by Marlee Rae yet, check out her She Is series as well. That's where I started, but I found out that I actually should have started with two more series before.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But I wasn't lost because she put enough in there where you could still follow the story.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so she meets Gavin. Can you give us a little information on who
Mm.
Gavin is as a character?
So Gavin is this really he's never been married, he doesn't have kids,
Hmm.
but he's this international traveler because he's an artist. And so he's been really traveling his entire life and really hasn't had time to really put down roots. And
Hmm.
now he's back, he's moved back home, and at this stage he's kind of looking to do something just to kind of settle down or do whatever, but he is just her perfect person because
Yes.
he is very laid back, he's just calm, he's supportive, and he's an artist as well, so that's the big thing. And Gavin is a very sensual guy, just because he's a yeah.
I put that in my notes. I said this story, whenever they are on in the same scene, man, it is
Anytime
so
they on the rooftop.
sensual. It is so sensual, not even like just sexual. It's just so sensual. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
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 Right.
they are. Yeah, Gavin is. Well, he's an erotic artist, so
right,
I mean, you can't help but have him be a sensual and just
right,
a
right.
caring type of guy, and just very concerned. He's touchy feely. So whenever those two are like in the room together, it's fireworks just naturally
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
she's so into him, and he's catering to her every need, and not because he's
Mhm.
trying to. It's just who he is.
It's just natural, right?
It's just natural for him.
Hmm. And
So
which feeds her um, creativity and her passions, and
yeah.
makes her step more outside her comfort zone and outside of her box that
Hmm.
Anderson put her in.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, Even the stuff I love, the little stuff with her couch, how she has an orange couch, but Gavin notices that she shields it with a lot
All
of
the
pillows
pillows.
and stuff,
Hmm. Hmm.
and with the blue hair, but it's not as vibrant as
It's
it could be because
darker.
it still looks a little black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love those little touches too, and that he noticed it
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
and he's trying to bring her
Mhm.
out, make her feel like she's free to be who she is. And I just love them together. And I think I said this in the last time you were on here. I love just the little things and how vibrant it was as far as like when you were describing his shower, his open shower,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
her
Oh
watching him, and I mean the whole
yeah.
scene was just so again sensual.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
Oh
I'm
man,
man.
glad
it
you
had me like, oh my goodness.
What had me was the growth and the drops.
Yes, yes, yes. Look, wait a minute. I reached out to Marlee Rae. I'm like, I at least reached out to her about, okay, what's up with this? I think, I think it was the shower scene that I asked. I said that
That was
I'm
a
like,
show.
I'm loving this shower scene. Uh,
Well, a
Oh
book
man.
is supposed to be like you watching a movie. So I
right.
got, yeah,
It's
yeah, you
supposed to
got to
be,
get it
yeah.
in
It doesn't
there. You got,
always happen, but yeah, yeah. It was
yeah, so
definitely
you can
playing
picture
out in my
exactly
mind
what's
as I
going
was.
on. Well, I'm glad I did a good job. You saw what I was trying to say.
I was trying to clone the
I'm like,
suction fan as
I
the
need
drop.
one of these grotto showers or whatever. That's what I was
Right.
picturing in my mind, this cavernous dwelling. But just loved it. I love too how she was able to see because he did abstract
Hmm.
erotic paintings, so it wasn't always
Yeah.
obvious the erotic part of it and what they were seeing. But I love that she was able to see
Hmm.
everything that he painted. And that's another thing that he loved about her is like he said, most people were not able to see past the abstract.
Right.
Right. Yeah. They were. That was the thing, that they were both artists and they were creative. So he understood her and she understood him, especially the abstract painting. She could look at it and immediately figure out
Hmm.
what was happening in the photos.
Hmm. What was some of your favorites, Katina, in the besides the shower scene?
So so many. So
Because
many.
that definitely was one of mine.
That was crazy. What the brown liquor dance was
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, yes.
I was having fun. And I love that that was what like one of his favorite things.
Because
Like, cause it was
he
so
kept
like
talking about, he kept
I
bringing it
kept
up. Yeah.
bringing it
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what I love too? I love when she surprised him with the G.
With, oh yes, yeah.
and the man saw it. I was like, first
And
of all,
he could not stop talking about this G, and she was like, "Okay, I'm about sorry that I did this." Oh man, um,
she was
but
I also loved his relationship with his
Hmm.
sisters.
Hmm.
mhm. The
Um,
sisters were
they were hilarious.
hilarious.
They were.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also told Marley Ray too um about Macy's parents were hilarious. Yes.
Yeah. Macy's parents were something else. Yeah.
They were.
Oh man, they were. Wait a minute, I think I had to
I wrote
when
that down. But she was
father and
fussing at
mother,
the
her
dad.
father when he okay, so this is one of
Which
my
one?
standout scenes. Her
Which one?
father was trying to get Macy to see that Anderson was, a good
Right.
man and he was sorry and
Yeah, yeah.
that he made good money because his whole thing is he wanted his daughter to be secure
Exactly.
and
Right.
financially
Right.
secure. So he's like,
Yeah.
Anderson has a good job, benefits. He's like, this man that you talking about, this artist, but he started talking about the benefits and the pensions and talking about, okay,
Uh-huh.
what's going to happen when arthritis set in? That whole scene just had me rolling.
But
That whole
yeah,
scene just had me rolling.
yeah, but that's how that generation is. They like,
Yes, I could
listen,
definitely see.
right?
Yes,
You need a job that
Absolutely.
you go to, a 9 to 5. What
right,
he paints? Like, how much does that pay? And
right,
he couldn't understand, like, okay, well, is he a painter? Is he painting houses or
right, right, right,
yeah? He's like, he painting pictures. He's like, no, no. Like he said, who cares
right,
what he's doing?
right, right. And wait a minute, then the mother come out and say, "That's enough." Anderson had his shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then him and her, and then he said, "I'm talking to my daughter," and they going back and forth, and Macy just sitting there like they not even talking, like she not even in the room.
And I liked it. Every time he started, she was like, "I'm gonna get mine
Yeah.
because you doing too much." And then she was like, she told mom told her the husband like he need to get himself together or she
Oh,
not gonna give him that short night. And
the
I
short
was
nightgown. Macy was like, "Mom, that is too much information."
took me out.
She said, "When it's the
Took me
long
out.
nightgown, it's this. When it's the short one, that means it's on."
Right, right.
Oh, but her parents kept
Oh,
embarrassing her. And
Yeah.
but Gavin
yes.
was like, "Don't worry about it." He said, "Those my in-laws." He said, "Those my future in-laws."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
Daddy
did a
was
great
happy.
job
Yeah,
writing
Daddy
them.
was happy when he found out how much those paintings
Right.
sold for.
Wait a minute.
No.
That's another one of my standout moments when they were at the dinner table and he was saying grace. And he put in the grace, he was put in the prayer about thank you, Jesus. My baby done found somebody who financially he just went on about the finances and stuff, but it was hilarious. But he was coming from a like Macy said, she knew he was coming from a place of love and
Hmm.
fear for her and her future.
Right.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
so I
Yeah.
love that when he found out how happy um when her mother had mentioned that her and Gavin's mother actually saw them out when they were flying the kite
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
and how
from the
happy she
kite.
was. And then when her father found that out, he was like, "Okay, I made a mistake telling Anderson
Yeah.
to pursue you."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Just
that.
But we can't forget what they call it,
oh,
Air
Air
Macy.
Macy.
Oh.
We can't forget Air Macy. That was nice. That was
Yeah.
crazy. And everything I thought about it because of Erica's comment
Oh
about
yeah,
the vision.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Daddy was
Macy
mad
daddy was
about
mad
the
about the
vision board.
vision. Yes, 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 yes.
Like, you really has
Um,
been doing that?
that was okay. So okay, we're gonna move forward a little bit. When Macy, okay, I didn't know what was going on in that scene at first when she came after Anderson.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
I'm
Mm-mm.
like, what's happening? What's going on?
Right.
Because they usually are cordial and they
Hmm.
get along and
Hmm.
stuff. But
So you know something bad happened.
yeah, I'm
No,
like, what
something bad.
happened?
That.
And Gavin looking like, what is going on? And but I love how
Mhm.
Annery and the rest of the ladies, made sure they
Yeah.
were there for her, supporting her and shielding her. Annery, I remember this from her book. She the ride or die girlfriend.
Hmm. Hmm.
She go, she was
Yes.
like, where we gotta go.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and
Yeah. No.
we,
Nobody liked that ex-husband.
but he wasn't as bad as Annery's guy.
No, he was not as bad as Dennis. No, he was not.
Oh no.
Oh man, but
Good Lord, that
yeah, I
man.
couldn't believe it because that when what she found out Anderson did was a little disturbing. Like, okay,
Hmm.
what is going on with this guy?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so, but we won't get out of the way because
And then you know what? You
that's
didn't
a
even
good
see it.
plot twist, so we won't get out of the way. But
It was because you didn't see it
right,
coming.
right,
You was
yeah.
like
I was like, what is going
at all.
on? But I knew, like you said, I knew something, had to have happened.
Hmm. Hmm. And you understood
Mhm.
her why
Oh
she
yeah,
was why
oh
she
yeah,
was so angry. You know that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a
absolutely.
lot, and she didn't have time to digest it. It's like
right,
she found out and he walked in and it was
right.
like, yeah, so there
Right.
was no time to even digest it. It was just like, I got this terrible information and I
Hmm.
don't know what to do with it and I don't know where to
Right.
put it.
Right.
So yeah, she just kind of lost it.
She blinked out for a minute,
Hmm.
and then seeing Gavin and Anderson going at it just
Right.
added fuel to the fire, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, that was that was
Yeah.
so too. And then the guys, the other barbers, they come out. They were just
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, they came out and they was like, nah, what's not happening here, you gotta
Right.
go.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Ola says she definitely needs to check you out. Yes, Ola, you
She
will
went.
love her. her books. Everything I've read so far, I've really enjoyed. I don't know if you were in the audience when she was on last time. She was on last time, and we were talking about her She Is series. Well, we were talking about book one, Brown Sugar, and that the one of the two characters in that were featured in this book too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was glad to see Tanya and
Yeah,
Ray.
yeah.
Yes.
Because
Cedric.
the spice shop is next door to the beauty shop.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's kind of it's all like they're all on that main strip, so they're right next door to each other.
Now was it this? Okay, I'm getting okay. Was it this book? It was this book. Trying to make sure it wasn't Root to the
Hmm.
Sky. Where they had the dance off.
That was
That was
Roots.
Roots.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that was
so
Roots to the
okay,
Sky.
so I'm
Yeah.
getting them mixed
That
Okay.
was
up.
Roots.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait a
Yes,
minute. Like, yeah, that was Roots.
that's
I'm like,
Roots.
wait a minute. I can't remember if it was this one or the other one. See, that's the only thing when you read stuff
That's
back
Roots.
to back.
Hmm.
But any other highlights, Katina, from this book before we move to the second book?
I wanted to get the history of put on a dog. Put on a dog. That's what I said. Where I read it, how I read it. His mom said that all the time. Who's one of their mothers said it
I
all the
don't remember
time.
that.
Oh, I think it was maybe it was Gavin's mother who said.
Maybe
Okay,
Gavin's
okay.
mom.
So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna tell you, the first time with somebody's, it was only been older people who said that to me, and usually,
Okay.
so the first time I heard it, it was a couple years ago. I had a
Uh-huh.
birthday party, so I had one of my friends' mothers saw the pictures from the birthday party on Facebook. So it was kind of like
Mm-hmm.
my best friend and I, we had a double birthday party because our birthdays are like a week apart. So she said, "Oh, I saw y'all pictures on Facebook, and girl, y'all put on a dog." And I was like,
Okay,
"What?"
because I've never heard that expression. So
Right,
I
right.
know.
So then after that, I'm hearing it all the time, but it was only coming from older people, and I was all like, "Really?" I said, "I didn't know what they were talking." I said, "Okay, I guess that's what old people say. Like when you dress up and you put it
mhm.
on, they say you put on the
Yeah.
dog." So yeah,
I love
that's what
that.
that's
Oh man.
what they say.
I had to ask because I was like, sometimes certain things are familiar to maybe
Hmm.
families
Hmm.
or something, and maybe generations, like you said. But I had never heard
Yeah,
that
it's
before.
it's the
So I
older generation. Yeah, they say put on the dog. So okay.
Also,
thought.
I love how Macy stepped out too when Gavin said he wanted her to pose nude for his his class and
Uh-huh.
for
Yeah,
the exhibit,
yeah.
and she did it, and the whole exhibit thing too was well written. Love all
Very
of that.
well. Very well.
Okay,
Yes,
good. I'm glad you like it. And yeah, and she
Very.
really she loved that part too. And she wasn't, even though she was nude, she wasn't. So
right,
Right.
because
right.
she had, the paint
The
on her.
paint
So
on her, right,
it wasn't, it was a little different.
Mm-hmm.
and it was and just all of the like creative stuff in it was amazing to me, and I really enjoyed that aspect. Erica said she loved Gavin's final project with Maxwell album. I told Marley someone at Netflix read her book.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the
You saw
same
it?
thing,
Yeah, I saw that.
and I was like,
Right,
"Wait."
right. Yeah, I was all like, "Now what they doing reading my book?" I'm like, "Can I get some props here? Can I get some props?"
Oh man.
Yeah, and because I saw that and I was all like,
Yep.
interesting, but it was a little
Mm-hmm.
different, but
It was.
because that album is so old, I,
Right.
that's why I
Right.
was like, now how y'all reach back in the archives? And I was like,
Mhm,
yeah, I said somebody
mhm.
that read my book and it's a good idea. Mm-hmm. I said that album is at
Yeah,
least
that's a way.
20,
Yeah,
25 years old.
yeah.
It's like his first
Yeah.
album.
Hmm.
So I was all like, now who did? I was like, now who at Netflix doing me like this?
Yolanda Jordan is saying, excellent author. I've read all of Marley Rae's books. I still got
Oh,
to finish up the catalog. And then I
Same.
did start uh, book one of the other series that we talked about. I think it was
Which one
whose
is
book
that?
was it? It's Tanya's brother, the oldest one. Um,
Oh, okay. That's my very first book. That
okay,
is something old, something new. So that's Macon and Dawn's book,
okay, yeah,
and Macon, Dawn, and Dre.
okay, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and Erica is saying Andy and his girlfriend were cute too. Yes. Oh, that's and I had
I
that in my
love
notes
that.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you brought that up, Erica. I love
Yeah.
their little relationship, him and Lexi, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm glad that it tied into where they knew the parents already, and she was a good girl, even though uh her son Andy was trying to be slick because she was like Gavin kept trying to get him, trying to be the buffer between him and his mother because Macy was not trying to hear about her son having sex. And especially when she found out Anderson gave him condoms, she's like, "What is going on? That's my baby." And Gavin trying to let her know, it's good for him to be prepared. Uh,
Yeah, you can't stop that train. You cannot stop that train. So it's like you better
yeah,
prepare them as opposed to trying to stop it because
right,
I mean
right,
their
right.
Right.
kids are gonna do it. The kids
Yeah,
are gonna do
Yeah.
it. So
yeah.
you can't stop it. But she just she was just like, yeah, I'm
She
gonna
was
do
having a
something.
meltdown.
She was really having a meltdown, and I'm sure Gavin was thinking like, yeah, I was probably doing that at that age too. So
Right, and that's what he was letting her know.
That's what he
He's
said.
like, "Don't get mad at Anderson because he's doing right. It's a father son
Yeah.
thing."
right.
Um, which I love that he could be objective about it because they weren't,
Mhm.
it's not like they were best of buddies,
Right, right, right.
but he knew. Um, okay, with the how do you pronounce it? Jujitsu.
Oh,
When he
jujitsu.
told
Oh,
when he told and then
oh,
Anderson called him. What did he call him? Bruce? Not, he called him something Lee. He
Charles.
called him.
He called him
oh,
Charles.
yeah, they were. Oh, yeah, Charles.
Charles.
Oh, he was calling what he called Bruce Leroy.
Bruce Leroy.
Bruce
Yeah.
Yeah,
Leroy.
yeah,
Yeah.
And even
yeah,
Macy had to laugh at that. I'm like, oh,
mm-hmm,
they
mm-hmm.
are really.
Yeah, yeah. That was after that whole bathtub
Oh
incident.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Woo.
yeah. There was a lot happening in that scene. But
But it was all so realistic because that is difficult when you're out of a relationship and then you're in a new
Yeah.
one and then all of you are trying to adjust to the
mm-hmm,
new dynamic.
Right.
It
mm-hmm.
takes a lot of maturity and totally being over the other person, which
Yeah.
Anderson was not totally over.
Right. Right. He was being sneaky, trying to stake his claim. That's
Right.
all. That's all he was doing. That's
Yeah.
all
Mhm.
he was doing. And ended up, embarrassing himself.
Oh
Ooh.
man, it was so many great moments in the book. And of course we don't have time to talk about we haven't even touched, the surface of all of it. But it was very, very well done. I
Very well.
loved it as
Thank
usual,
you.
with like the last series that we talked about. Okay, so we're gonna go into our second book, which is Roots to the Sky, which is set around Juneteenth.
Mhm.
And with that one, who can you tell us a little bit about that story?
So that story is actually it's a novella. So of course it's not as long as the other books, but it's actually a sequel to the Christmas book, which is Single Jingle. So, but you can definitely they can be read independent of each other. But you'll meet that
Okay.
that couple. You'll meet them in the Single Jingle, which is the Christmas book from last year. And this
And
book
I
is
did read that, yeah.
okay. So you met Dana and
Hmm.
Reed in that
Hmm.
book, and
Yeah.
Dana and Reed have been known each other forever because Dana is his sister's best friend.
Hmm.
She's always had a crush on him, and of course he's a little older than her, so he didn't pay attention to her.
Right.
But their paths just never really they were never really able to line up properly. They really weren't until they were older, and it's just kind of them really getting together. Then the love happens fairly quickly because she's liked him for so long,
Right.
and really them adjusting to both of them moving back home and him kind of going through a little job situation and then her having getting a fantastic job and almost getting rid of him in the process. but this whole
Yeah.
story, it kind of surrounds Juneteenth because I really wanted to just highlight just African American history and the great things that we have accomplished as for people as for Black people, and so
Hmm.
the museum, which was really the hub of everything,
Right.
to highlight every just kind of a lot of the Black history, especially some of the Black history that is in St. Louis as well. So I wanted to highlight that as well, and that's really what it was about, highlighting that, but also highlighting strong Black love and
Hmm.
just how we overcome things and how if we just stick together, we can work things out,
Right.
and especially within our own community. So that's kind of the premise of it.
Okay, I have to tell you, I didn't like Reed in the beginning.
You didn't.
I didn't like him because I think I mentioned this to you before.
Mhm,
You gonna always lose me when you disrespecting when the man is disrespecting a woman, even
mhm,
if it's not the main character. And I didn't like
mhm,
the way he did Kenya. It was like
Mm.
horrible.
mhm, mhm.
From the pool party at the house.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, and it got worse from there. So, and then, but I do like that because he was trying to, come at, okay, I'm trying to make sure I don't say the wrong names because I'm getting the two books confused, but,
Mm-hmm.
Dana, um, in the way you like, she went to the pool house and he follows her, trying to be, sneaky and going
Mhm,
around. Um, And I love though when she told him, if you really want to be with me, you come to me correct. Don't come to me in the dark
mhm.
while your girlfriend is out,
Right.
out
Mm.
there. But he was just moving real slimy. I didn't sleazy. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was. He definitely was. And
And he
he
wasn't even, they weren't teenagers. I don't think, or he wasn't at least. I
No,
don't think.
but
not
they were
then.
young. They were definitely they were he had just he was they were both I don't he had maybe just turned 30 or whatever, but he had just gotten out of the military. So
Right.
it was really early on. And I don't think that well also Reed was not in a good place either.
And
Reed
I
had
tried to
gotten
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Reed was not in a good place. And one of the things I try to do when I write is that I try to be authentic to how I've seen people move and how
Hmm.
things that I've experienced and the things that I've seen. And one of the things that I always notice, especially with men, is that if their money and things like that is not right, you cannot get any sense out of them.
Yeah.
They don't really function properly. So
Hmm.
that was
Right.
one of the things where Reed was in a bad space. He wasn't doing what he was doing. He was working in his father's office. So he was no good for a relationship at all. He was
That's
not.
true.
So the way
Right.
he was moving was typical because of where he was in his own life. He just
Hmm.
was not together. He was miserable. He was so it was best when he left that he just left and went away because he really
Hmm.
needed to
Right.
come into his own and figure out what he wanted to do. So yeah,
Right.
he
Right.
definitely did he did his girlfriend dirty. And again,
Yeah, and I would that would have gave me pause actually, um, as even entertaining a relationship with him, knowing what he did,
yeah,
Right.
because but she even said that didn't seem like your character. Why would you do that? But
Right.
yeah, he was in a bad way. He did not I definitely get what you're saying, but most of the time, and then also remember that a lot of the books are written in first person, so a lot of what he's thinking is in his head. So
right.
we don't really know
Mm.
what somebody is thinking. So it'll
Right.
be a whole affair going on in somebody's head, and you just don't know about it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
so it's really written so that I could really explain where he was coming from and what he was doing, and not to say that he was right, but that
Hmm.
it happens. It really does. We
It
have
does. I've known
yeah,
guys who've done that, but
yeah. People cheat.
in the
People
past,
cheat every day. They just
yeah,
do.
yeah,
So, and it's just it. I just want to be authentic to the characters, and if I'm gonna write something that's realistic, it's just you gonna it's gonna be messy sometimes. It just is. So
I just thought I was side eyeing him when he was explaining it to Dana and kept saying, or and to Holly because Holly got with him too. about how he treated Kenya. He was in
Yeah.
because she didn't want him to repeat it with her best
Mhm,
friend.
mhm,
Right.
mhm.
But he
Right.
kept saying I was young, and when he said he was in his 30s, and then he kept saying I was young. I'm like, this man,
Right.
I would have like, like man, if you don't quit saying you were young and you was already in your 30s,
Yeah,
he need to use another excuse, I think. But um,
but they mature a little different than we do. Yeah, they mature a
I
little. Yeah,
do.
they
that is
mature a
true.
little
That is
different than we do.
I
So that
do.
yeah, they not together till they like 45. So
true.
Right.
And that's about where he was when he actually was
uh-huh,
ready
uh-huh.
in his 40. Yeah.
But a 30-year-old
That's funny.
brain and he's not doing he had just come from like he's flying planes. That's what he does. Then he
Right.
gets out.
Right.
He's not doing that. And he's like he's about 32 or so, and it's like he's miserable.
Yeah.
So he's
Hmm.
nobody needs to date him. Nobody needs to date him at all. Mm-mm. And
Katina, what was your Katina, what was your thoughts on that whole? Because I from the very I was like, okay, I'm not feeling him at all. Um, so
That
I'm glad.
did take me aback a little bit when he said he was young, and I went back in the book. See, wait a minute, that just happened. I was like, wait, but it was a little like I understood like where she was coming from though, because she always had a
hmm
heart for him.
hmm
Mhm.
So his with him, I guess he was being vulnerable at that moment, and I guess him telling the truth and saying the things that I know I was wrong, and I don't think she didn't jump right in right away because she was still
Right, and she still had
carrying
that in
that.
the back of her mind, I
She
believe,
mentioned
because
it.
even when she got the
Yeah.
job offer, um,
Yes, she
she
mentioned
yeah,
it. She
and
did.
she knew like, okay, if that's how you reacted back
Yeah,
then, so I did appreciate that she, at least addressed it in her mind, like, okay, this can happen again.
this could happen. But
Right, right.
but I think
Mhm.
he realized, well, even because how do I say, like, Kenya wasn't his person, but she kind of wasn't.
Yeah, but
I
still,
think
it wasn't like
I
this was a
understand
date.
that
They were in a
for
relationship
sure.
for
But I don't like he was just biding his time until he could get Dana. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
couldn't understand it.
yeah.
But he
please
brought his feet
stop
it up.
just
Well, he had met Kenya before he got out of the military. So when he came home, naturally they just kind of picked things back up. And
mhm.
he
Right,
had no idea that Dana was feeling that way until that
right,
one day. He like,
Right.
oh, whoa, what's going on here?
hmm
And but then
And
of
he
course,
wanted to shoot his shot while he
right,
had
but he was with Kenya.
right,
right.
So he didn't do anything until it was almost a year later. He and Kenya are still together, but life has gotten bad. He was miserable.
yeah,
He was just awful. So he was just with Kenya because wasn't nothing else to do and he wasn't happy. So he just stayed with her. It's really
yeah,
all he was doing. But
Mhm.
one of the things that he said, when he was trying to sleep with Dana in the pool house and she turned him down, what he said was like, I just needed a win. He
right,
just needed something good to happen.
hmm
Right.
And
When she took it the wrong
she
way.
took it the wrong way.
absolutely, yeah,
Um,
and absolutely, she like, excuse me,
right,
yeah,
of
Mhm.
course.
as she should have. But
Hmm.
Right.
the way he's thinking is just like, I just need something good to happen. I don't care how I get it, no matter who I hurt. I just want something good to happen. So,
Right,
and of course, he was being rude to Kenya, and that never would have he and Dana never would have taken off
no,
if they had gotten together at that point. They that would have,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
because he was a mess.
Um I do love too, like I was saying about his sister, how she too made sure that she, put him in his place and,
Hmm
let him know that, that was dirty how you did her.
yeah.
Um, and I don't think she let it slide either when he
She
kept
said
saying he
something
was
too.
young.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and they were on, and she was on him. She was like, do not come down here until you get a job, because they
Yes,
Right.
like we know how you act when you don't like.
Right, right. You are not about to do that to my friend. But I love the conversation between Dana and her mother too, because her mother was letting her know, that's when me and your father had a rough patch when he was laid off,
Yep.
and he was working my nerves because he didn't have, he wasn't going to work, he didn't have his own money, and he saw me, so she was giving her advice, make sure before he tries to move down here with you
Yeah.
that he has a job already. And I actually love that. I appreciated that she was giving her some insight into their marriage and
Hmm.
trying to keep her from experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, 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 and I think that's always important. And like I said, that I always, again, I always write from experience and from what I see, and from what I see, I'm like, if that money is not right and they're not doing what they want to do, I say they sick. That's what I say, because you can't get no sense out of them. They
Hmm.
crazy.
Hmm.
So yeah, so so that's kind of how I wrote from his perspective, is that he was just not doing what he wanted to do at all. And he
Right,
didn't really know how to, he shouldn't have been in a relationship during that time.
Mm-hmm.
right. And I think Dana also was I'm not worried, but I think she also considered the fact that she was going to be making so much money too,
Hmm.
and how
Hmm.
would he react to that,
Hmm.
which is something that I think a lot of women also can relate to
Oh yeah,
when they're in a
definitely.
relationship and they make more than their partner.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that definitely was something that was realistic to me, and because I've known that, and even in my marriage, and for a time I was making more, and then it flipped, and my husband was making more.
Hmm.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably been a lot of people probably can relate to that as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Any other standouts for you, Katina, in the story?
I love the RJ discussions. Um,
Oh, about
baby,
the yeah,
baby
baby
RJ.
RJ.
Thought there was,
He was
thought
claiming it. He was
yeah,
claiming
he
it.
was
Yeah.
claiming
Yeah.
that. Oh, I also loved the chapter titles because I wasn't well into it until I realized that they were like related to, like, roots, a tree, and
Oh,
each
yeah, the
branch,
branch. Yeah.
each chapter was a
Hmm.
branch, and I
Uh-huh.
thought that was very cool. I thought
Oh,
that was
thank
Hmm.
you. Hmm.
cool.
Hmm.
So,
And I
Yeah.
loved again the how I was able to visualize everything with the museum,
Hmm.
and
that
I
was
I,
so
I
cool.
l- loved how Dana surprised Reed,
Hmm.
including him in it, including his father, and just the community. I love this community that you and Bailey West have created
Hmm. Hmm.
with Greenwood. So I'm looking forward to reading more stories about that
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been building that community for a while. So yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But it's a nice, it's just a nice community with a lot of the businesses and the people, and so it's
Just
just
thriving. Yeah.
yeah, I love the community, and I love, kind of just because sometimes, it's hard to write about what's around you, because you have to be factual if you're going to write about it. So
True.
if you don't want to keep up with that, create your own stuff, because it's a
Right.
fiction book
Right.
anyway. So I'm like, yeah, just create your own area. That way you don't have to worry about, well, what's on the corner of so and so, so and so.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
What's
Hmm.
the name of that restaurant, or is it still there? Because like a couple
Right.
of the stories that I wrote, my very first book, I mentioned a couple of places, and I didn't put the names in there, but the places I referenced, they're not open anymore. So
Okay.
I
Okay. Yeah.
wouldn't want somebody to go back and like, oh, I'm gonna go to that restaurant, and it's not there.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, yeah, we just create our own stuff. So
That makes it easier because people will call you out too if you get something wrong and say, "I
yeah,
live there," and that's not true.
absolutely. Right. Absolutely. So yeah, this way everything is made up, and you don't, there's no calling out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I love
Um,
the name of the rest. Was it a restaurant? The Chocolate Stranger.
Wait a
Uh-huh.
minute. Why I just look at that, Katina? I was just looking at that on my in my notes because you know
That's
what
what
I was
you
just
talking
saying
about.
about the dancing.
That's
Even though I was in the wrong book, but
right, right.
Yeah, yeah,
but
that's
I
what.
love music and I love dance. So
Hmm.
Mhm,
some of my
Hmm.
favorite scenes are always dance scenes between the
mhm.
couple. And I told you in Brown Sugar with Tanya and Dre when they were, they dancing, I loved it. So when they had their little dance off with
Mhm.
Macy, not Macy, with Dana and Reed, and she tried to warn him,
She's
Right,
here.
like
right, yeah,
you don't want to take them on. And of course he didn't listen.
Yeah,
right, right.
And what were you gonna say about that scene, Katina?
no, I just like the name of the name of
Oh yeah, and the
the
way you
name.
described that, now was that based on a real place?
You
Because
know.
I know one of the things I had said in the last series that was based on a real place.
So that particular restaurant is based on a real restaurant with the
Okay.
way that, well, with the way the
The booth.
round booths are. So that
Mhm.
is the actual real restaurant, but the way the booths are, that where they have, it's almost like you're inside of a little barrel.
I
But
love that.
the other rest of the stuff, the curtains and all that, I added that on because it's
Mhm.
good. The restaurant is more casual, the one that I've gone to, but this one we wanted to make it kind of
More upscale.
yeah, I like more upscale. And then we
Mhm.
just come up with different names, and we just keep track of the names of the restaurants and what they look like, or if they're going to have an event or something like that. So that's the fun part of creating it. You come up with different names of the restaurants and the businesses and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. So that's the fun part.
Because I could visualize that too. I'm like, I
Mhm.
love the idea of this.
I know it sounds so cool. I was so
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Loved it. Loved it. But again, great job.
Thank
For
you.
this one, Roots to the Sky. What message did you want to convey with this? What do you want readers to take away from this story?
That really with that story, that especially with Reed, that you have to make sure that the loving it, that the is right for both people, the timing is right. It's really all about timing.
Hmm.
So it doesn't, you can have a crush on somebody, you can like them, and no matter how much you want it, if the other
Right.
person isn't ready,
right.
Right.
it's not going to work. So
Hmm.
I think it's timing is one of the things that I wanted to, talk, to take away about the love story. But also, really, it's just the rich black history that we have. That's
Hmm.
one of the main things that I wanted, to take away from the story, and just the different things that we're just so good at that we don't necessarily get credit for.
Right.
So, and just creating our own spaces so that we can see like what we've done. So that's why I
Hmm.
wanted to go kind of in deep with the museum, so that you people could see like, oh, like I didn't know this about this particular, like
Hmm.
the aviation wall. So in the
Yeah.
aviation wall that I we do have an aviation wall like that that's in St. Louis at our main airport. And one of the
Okay.
things I wanted to do, and I mentioned it in a book, but I wanted to because again, considering the climate and everything that we're in, we don't know what's going to be left. So I
Right.
wanted to add that into the book so that it would be something that they would add to the museum, but it
Hmm.
would go further and further with
Right.
so it would kind of be a living wall where you would add on all of the black pilots and all of the aviation that we're responsible for, and you would have a living wall at the museum. So that's what, and then about the genealogy area that's in the museum as well.
Hmm.
I just want really, because the book was based around, it was Juneteenth inspired. I
Right.
definitely add a lot of Black history, to the book, but also to focus. That was kind of a backdrop, I guess, for the Black love as well. So yeah.
And that came through the history and the importance of reserving our history and
Hmm.
making sure that we're writing everything down like they used to do
Hmm.
and telling your kids and your grandkids and um because it's trying to be erased so
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So I think we can. I try to include something in the books about some kind of history or something. So and hopefully the readers, when they do read it, they'll go and what is that?
Right,
I didn't
right.
know about that. Or let me look this up, and maybe they will kind of look into it and see what it is.
Hmm.
So
And I love that too about the aviation, with him being a pilot, and you brought in um, Bessie. Well, I can't think of her name. Is it Bessie Smith?
no,
Bessie.
and I know and look, my mind is
And
shot. So look,
the
it's Bessie
Tuskegee
Coleman.
Airmen.
Bessie Coleman. I think it's
uh,
Bessie Coleman. Yeah.
Coleman, yeah, okay.
Bessie Coleman. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, because some people may not have heard of her. I have, but I couldn't think of her last name. But
Mm-hmm.
and then the Tuskegee Airmen and all of that. And then I love the way too that Dana said she wanted it not to just be about the past, but um, bringing it forward to the future and people that's still inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when she brought the
Yeah.
other aspects in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, really well done though, because we have a great African American museum here in Detroit too.
Okay.
Um, that the Charles H. Wright Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love the exhibits and that they're always changing, but they have some staples that they have in there.
Okay.
So I kept imagining that as I was reading about
Yeah.
this museum. So I love that.
Mm.
Yeah, I liked it too, and I wanted to create it so that it was more, even though I think the name of it is celebrating the past and honoring the future and all of that, but just so that because I like I said I think it's important that of course we celebrate our history, but that we celebrate the current and the present as
Right,
well,
right.
because I think that our kids need to see people who part of the book was the kids came in and they saw that he was a pilot.
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
Our kids need to see us doing different things so that they
Mm,
can say, "Oh, I can do that too," or it's maybe
right.
something that I want to do. So I think that's important that they know that yes, there are black pilots, we have black doctors, we have black
Yeah.
everything, so that
Right.
they know that. So and they're not just looking at uh, other things. That they need
Mhm.
to know that in your own community, you have very special and talented people, and we can, as a people,
Right.
we can do anything. So I think it's
That's
just
true.
important that we do that for our children.
And we
So
used to see it more. I know when I was growing up, you had so many examples right there within the
hmm
community. You don't see it as much now. Um,
hmm
you have to kind of look for it. But so I love the way. That's why I say I love the community that you all built
hmm
because that's how it used to be when I
Right.
yeah.
was growing up. You had your black cleaners, your black supermarkets, your
Yeah.
black
hmm
everything.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I love that. Love that aspect. Before we go, did you have anything as far as you got anything that you can share that you have coming up or anything?
I am working on the next installment of Whip and Fade. So I put a blurb, Hollis. So there's a blurb about
Oh
him.
yeah, it's in the back of the book.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in the back of the book. So I'm working on him now. I don't know. I may be like 50% done or something like that. I don't know. So we'll see. That should be coming out hopefully within the next couple of months or whatever. But yeah. So that's what I'm working on right now. And yeah.
I'm
So
looking forward to reading that too.
you look. I'm scared now. Some of the stuff Katina said. Because
Right,
Hollis is
because he
a
already
whole
said that Hollis is you
look.
wait, right,
Hollis is a
wait.
whole mess.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Sound
got
like it
that
too.
yeah. Him and Black, I think they were the two that they were
Oh
Yes.
saying.
So
yes.
Yeah.
right.
Them
So
two.
right. So Bailey is writing Black, and I'm writing Hollis, and
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So they'll be just like Macy and Anuri.
Oh,
Okay.
So it'll be happening at the same time. So yeah. Hollis is a
Love it.
whole mess. So
So I'm already gonna have my mind wrapped around. But you did end up bringing Reed around back around for me because I actually was invested in him getting a chance to get his
right.
gem of a job as well, his career.
mhm. Yeah.
So but in the
I try
beginning,
I try to redeem them. I try to redeem them. You know, you you people, we all make poor choices sometimes. So
Yes,
so
we do, and we
yeah,
all deserve a second
but
chance.
I bring them back around. I bring them back around. So
See, and
yeah.
I was thinking of that. I was thinking of that with Anderson.
Hmm.
And
Oh yeah, yep, yep,
that
yep.
was
Yeah.
Because he
hilarious.
actually, he also, yeah,
Can we get back
tried
with
to, yeah, he went at the
her?
gala, he tried to make amends with,
She said,
Gavin a little bit.
I still was looking like, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And him,
Yeah.
and he apologized to Macy, and they had their moment too. So yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
they were forced because the mom.
right, like they were teenagers again on the
Hmm.
porch.
Right, right. Yeah, the
Right,
mama wasn't having it.
right.
And that was the other thing, is that that was a big takeaway from the book as well, is that when you have blended families, I'm like,
Yeah,
hey, you got to get along for the sake of the kids. It's like
Hmm,
you know,
hmm,
and that's the
hmm.
one thing we always have to remember, is that look, you gonna die off, so don't leave a mess in your wake. You
right.
know,
Right,
don't leave that for the kids to deal with. So
right.
and so he was used to seeing his girlfriend Lexi. It's like, well, her parents, they get along with their
Hmm, hmm.
Yes,
things
yes.
together with them. So what are what are y'all doing? Y'all over
Right, and they thought, I don't think they thought that he recognized
here? Hmm. Yeah,
that they hadn't been speaking or on speaking
Right.
right.
terms, and he with
They
his
thought they were
grandparents
doing a
like
good job.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
with
Yeah,
his grandparents like something going on, and they be like,
uh-huh, yeah,
get it together, because I don't want my grandbaby upset.
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I
So
forgot about that. Now,
yeah.
yeah,
So and Anderson did. Well, I got him together too, because I think Anderson in the end really realized he wasn't for her. The
Right.
way, yeah, because remember how she was dressed at the gala,
right,
Hmm.
and
right.
he was like,
Why are you doing? Why?
Right.
like,
And
what
what he
is
say?
going?
He branded you, or no? He said that in the other.
He said
Yeah,
another.
yeah, right. And of course, he's thinking like, this couldn't be her idea, but
right.
Right.
everything that was all her.
That was
He
all
had
her.
nothing to do with that. That was
Oh,
all her.
yeah.
And he's thinking like, oh, he's a bad influence. He got
Yeah.
you out
Right,
here doing this kind of stuff, but that was really who she was, and he just didn't know that side of her. So,
right.
And I
Because
think
she
what
was so
was
busy
really
trying to please him. Yeah.
it
mhm,
was and I felt like when in that scene when they were on the porch and they were talking and he made that comment like, so you really gonna send me out here in these streets? And she was
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, yeah,
That was him
uh-huh,
accepting. Yeah, that
done.
the time. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
So that was
time to move on. Yeah.
time to move
Mhm.
on. Sorry.
But yeah, it's a pleasure as always to talk to you, and really, really enjoyed the
Thank you.
books,
Uh,
and looking forward to finishing up the rest of the She Is previous books for the blended family.
Uh-huh.
so what comes before she is? 'Cause you said there was a couple that you should have read. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have Tanya has other siblings, and some of them are step siblings, but
Ah,
they
Yeah.
okay.
are all together.
Yeah. So before the She Is series, that is the Love Movement. And
Okay.
that is Slick, Wet, and Ride. And then before that is the Something About Love series. So that's something old, something
Oh,
new, and then it's what is something new, something borrowed, something new, and then something blue, something new. So it's two more
And
series.
those are the ones that we should read first, right? The something borrowed,
Yeah, yeah. But if
something
you've
new.
already read Brown Sugar, you can keep going, and then because the books, you'll just kind of get what's happening. But
Right, right.
the story, all the stories are standalone, so nothing is a sequel. They're all
Okay,
standalone
okay.
stories, but you'll just kind of be able to put some of the side characters together.
Mhm.
Like, oh, this person, that's who that is, and this is
Right,
mm,
so kind of like that. So you can still read them in whatever order you want, but you'll just kind of notice them, in the other books.
right. Because like I was telling you before, when I was reading Brown Sugar, I was able to put together what they were talking about based off enough. You gave us enough
Hmm.
information to know that it was something going on with Donald
Previously.
and and
Yeah.
Tori from before.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
Right.
great job, and I can't wait till we read the rest. Hollis's book. I'll try not to be too hard on him when I'm ready.
I'm gonna tell you now, Hollis a whole mess. So yeah, so get your mind right, get your whatever it is you do to calm yourself down, and then read Hollis, okay?
All
So
right, all right.
You know what I do love? I do love how you wrote that part because it kind of sounded like he was talking to us.
mm-hmm.
I kind of like he was talking to us about
Oh
you.
yeah, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Brown Highlands. Yeah, you know she's gonna write. You know she's gonna tell all my.
yeah. She can tell
Yeah.
all my business. You know, I love that. I do.
Yeah,
Ola
thank
has a
you.
question for you. She wants to know what book does she where should she start because she's new to you.
Um, so I always tell people, so I kind of start in the middle, and then like always to start with Brown Sugar, and then kind of work it, read that
Work her way
series, and
around.
then go back because again, they're all standalone stories, but you'll just know that you'll recognize the characters. Like, oh, this is what they were
Right,
talking
right,
about. Okay, okay. So I think the way that it's written that I would start off with Brown Sugar with that series and then go back and read some of the other ones. And then you'll kind of say, like, oh, wow, okay, so this is what they were talking about. You'll kind of get the little nuances and things like that.
hmm
But there's not enough there to give away the whole story.
right,
So you
right,
still enjoy the first story, but the story will make a lot more. It'll be like, oh, this is what they were talking about.
right.
So reading it from that aspect is, I think, is great as well because I've heard it from both sides. So people
hmm
started off with Brown Sugar. They said, wait a minute, I went and read the other ones, and this is what you were talking about. So
hmm
you can either start with Brown Sugar, that's what I would recommend, or you can go back to the very first book and start with something old, something new. And that's the OG book. That's the very first one. So
So
but yeah.
Ola, make your choice because I started with Brown Sugar and I was not lost at
Yeah,
all.
you won't be lost at all.
Yeah,
Mm-mm. Just whenever you read the series, just make sure you read the series in order.
right,
So, but
Right.
you can start with any series. So if you do Brown Sugar, then like don't read Honey Pot before you read Brown Sugar.
right.
So that just make sure because those are kind of sequential. So I would say start off with Brown Sugar and read that series, and then go back and like read some of the other ones or whatever.
And you will not be disappointed. Everybody in the audience, make sure you check out Macy and Roots to the Sky. Is it Root or Roots? Roots to the Sky.
Roots to the Sky. Mm-hmm.
Um, that's a Juneteenth one. Um, that I just happened to read the synopsis, even though we're in Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and I just say, okay, we need to read that one too. But
Mhm,
since we
mhm.
were talking to her, and then check out Anuri, which is like they're side by side, but that one
Mm-hmm.
is by Bailey West.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then
The Christmas book, Single Jingle.
yes, and
Yes, since we are doing the Christmas season.
right.
Yay.
But you have to read the first three books in She Is before you read that, right?
You
Before.
can, but you don't have to. That's
You
the
don't have
thing.
to. Okay.
The story, they stand alone, so you won't be confused. You get just an
You'll just be
in
getting
depth.
a glimpse of some of the
Right. You get a
characters
glimpse
in
of
She
them.
Is. Yeah.
It's right, but it won't give anything away.
Right.
You just like, oh, this is what happens with them, or this is where they come from. So
hmm
Mhm.
And that's true
yeah.
too, because I read because that's Nick and
Holly.
Nigel in Holly's book.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's Nick and Holly.
So you're right. So I agree with that. Even if you read the Christmas book, you won't be lost or anything. It'll just
Mhm.
make
And
you
it's a
want
quick
to go
read
back.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very quick read, and that's a fun read, and it's not not a whole lot of drama in it. The other ones, it's
Right.
gonna be they kind of messy.
Yeah. Especially especially Reed in the beginning, but and Anderson. And
Lord,
Anderson. Wait a minute, I'm talking about Reed even more than Anderson, and he was a whole mess.
I
But
know. I was
oh man. Okay, Ola says she's gonna start with Brown Sugar.
Okay, okay. Make sure you tell me how you like it.
like,
Ola, make sure to let her know, and I'm
Yeah,
sure
let
she's
me
gonna
know
love
what
it.
you think.
It's so well done. You're gonna love the sisters and their extended families because they're
Mhm.
all something else. Um, But again, thank you for coming on the show again, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll be in touch when you bring out Hollis's book.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll be reaching out.
Okay.
But I'm sure I'm going to love it.
I hope you do. I hope you
Yes,
do. Yeah, we get everybody together. Okay, so that's all you got to
Yeah.
know.
that's right. That's right. That's right. And I'm looking forward to Black too, because we've been getting a little bit of
Yeah.
him
I
since. Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to
Hmm.
it. All right. Enjoy the rest of
Yeah,
your
you got to
evening,
revote.
and we're going to go into our second segment.
All right. Thank you. You too.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, so we're going to go into our second segment where we give you our highlight of the week. And this week, since you, Katina, did a Christmas book, I'm going to do one of my favorite Christmas books that I read last week. And Shavana did a Christmas book last week as well,
Good.
which is another one of my favorites. And do you want to go first, or you want me to go
I
first?
can.
All right,
Yeah.
let me bring it up.
Yes, it amazes me how these authors can fit so much into 100 and some odd pages.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
fascinated by
right.
that.
And some are better than others because some you sometimes I do feel like something is missing. But
Yeah,
lately though, they've been packing a punch.
I
The short
know.
ones, yeah.
Been like, what is this a Christmas book? I mean, so but this one, with like you, I had just read this one probably about a couple weeks ago,
Hmm.
um, with our the Christmas challenge.
Challenge.
And so this was one I've been trying to find odd ones, and just kind of see if it hits. And this was is Mary Inkmas, um, by I'm going to say Talia Hibbert.
Hmm.
That might be something else. This is an IR romance.
Okay.
Um, 190 pages. It was published in 2017, I believe, December, some odd time. And of course, I just read it. So I'm just going to give a little synopsis
Okay.
and then my take. So, Cash Evans knows exactly what he wants for Christmas. Too bad he can't have her. The infamous tattoo artist has been watching geeky Bailey Cooper for months, but that's all he'll ever do. Watch. Bailey's too sweet, too smart, too good for the likes of him, and he knows it. So Cash keeps his distance until Christmas Miracle makes him Bailey's boss. Socially awkward Bailey learned long ago that men just aren't worth the hassle. Take her new boss, Cash. He's a brooding beast who avoids her like the plague, but also fixes her plumbing, helps the homeless, and offers Bailey a place to stay for Christmas. She's never met anyone so confusing or so impossible to resist. And the more Bailey learns about Cash and his demons, the more she thinks it's time to stop fighting.
Okay.
Um, this is interesting. It is kind of like you kind of knew where it was going, but not, because the demons that they mentioned, they're
Right.
real issues that he is dealing with. But what I wrote was, uh, Cash keeps coming to how they meet. Cash keeps coming to the coffee shop to get coffee, and he takes time. And Bailey works at the coffee shop, and he every day he comes, he takes time, he talks to her, he flirts with her, and she asks him what he wants, and he always says, surprise me. And she just puts a little mix together, and he he takes it and he leaves. Something happens at the job where she gets fired, and he's there when it happens. And so, um, she ends up, working in his tattoo shop, um,
Okay.
as his receptionist or something. And that's where she learned that he hates coffee. And she was like, wait a minute, but you come to get coffee every day. And then
Right.
she realized that he was only coming to see her the whole time, which I think is super cute. But once they get to working together, talking to his fellow tattoo artist, also his family, because you know how those things work when
Hmm.
those type of environments, they become like family and
Right.
they support each other and all that kind of stuff. She finds out some deep seated issues that he has with his father. Um, his mom is she's a single mom now, but it's only because dad was abusive and he was very abusive.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
and because of um, issues with that and him thinking that he could be somehow like his father, he kind of builds those walls up so
Right. Right.
that he can't have anybody in his life. He wants her, but he's still thinking, I can't because I'm not good enough or whatever. So those demons he's battling with, and her issues because she's basically alone. Her mom passes, and uh, she has really no one. So she's
Mm,
latching on to this new family in the tattoo
right.
shop. She's latching on to his mom because she ends up spending Christmas with his family. And they get this instant bond, him and her and his mother. So it's really cute. You know, it's
Now,
190
do you
people.
get Christmas all throughout, or is it just
Because they're doing shopping and once they get to mom's house, there's all the decorating and there's the cooking and the and
okay? Okay.
gifts and his siblings and things like that. All of it is like pulling into it, um, and decorating his space, and because I don't think he was really into it, but it's a nice Christmassy feely. You get the dark because there's
Hmm.
always got to be a story.
Hmm.
But I think at the end of it, you get like a lot of I don't know.
The
I guess
hopefuls, the hope, and all of that.
yeah. It's all
Hmm.
of that. It's just a good mix. And you feel I don't know, like you feel for him because you know where he's coming from.
Hmm.
Um, his past, and he's trying to be better, but he's acting. I guess you could say he's acting out on it because he doesn't know how to.
Another one acting.
Right, he doesn't know how to communicate that he
Right.
likes her, and it always comes off like rude or something. And she always has a way of checking him, like who do you think you talk to? And this is a black woman, and I believe he is like because he's a ginger. And that's what
Okay.
kind of took my attention too. I think he's like Irish or something. It's something like that. But so I thought that was really really cool. But it just fell together really nicely. Um, and I'm always a sucker for a happily ever after. So,
Hmm.
but it was a good
I may check it out. That's why I asked you if it had the Christmas feel, because that's been one of my
one.
issues with a few of the books that I read. Even though they've been good, but
Yeah.
they actually could have been set at any time. It's like they just threw like a Christmas tree in there or
Right.
something and
Right.
called it Christmas.
Yeah.
But um, because
Yeah.
I actually was going back and forth. Or are you done with your
Yeah. 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 I'm done.
Okay,
Hmm.
I actually was going back and forth on which one I was going to do, because I actually had maybe four that were up there for me that I read during the challenge.
Hmm.
Um, but one of them, I think I've mentioned this, one was a really solid story, but you only got like this much Christmas in it.
Yeah.
So it didn't make the cut for the highlight because I thought that was like a ding away from it. Even though the story was really good. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I went with it was a toss up between two. And this, well, actually both of them are really really good, but I can only pick one, so I
Yeah.
chose this one. And I
Okay.
and this one actually might make my top two.
Oh.
I liked it that much.
Okay.
So this one is longer. It's not It's not a novella. It's which is why it took me longer because I was also reading for the show and reading the arcs and all that kind of stuff.
Is that the one you said
Um,
you were getting into it and you had to
Stop. Yep.
said to stop? Yeah.
Yep. This is it. So this one is, and it's making me want to go back and read a lot of her stuff. So I actually already started reading
Oh,
the second book because this is three brothers, but the other
oh
two books don't
wow.
have anything to do with Christmas, but this one does. Okay, so and this was my first book by this author. This one is Snow King Catches His Snowflake by A.E. Valdez. Love her writing style. So, like I said, I've already started book two in the series. Um,
Okay.
and I didn't know it was a series until one of the other readers in the challenge told me you're gonna love the other books. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know it was a series.
Right.
Um, so I already started book two. Okay, so this is 231 pages. It's book one of the Three Kings Billionaire series. It is available on Kindle Unlimited at the time of this broadcast. It was released December 2022, and I just started reading it like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks.
Okay.
Um, just finished it a couple of days ago. The genre is African American romance and romantic comedy.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and because you get in it, you get in the story, you get, which I am starting to love this genre, Grumpy Sunshine. You
Oh.
get that, plus you get the close proximity
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in it as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the synopsis is after being in a relationship for 3 years, Noelle Frost is faced with the reality that she was, and I love the names, Noelle
Yes.
Frost. After being in a relationship for 3 years, Noelle Frost is faced with the reality that she was definitely the better half. Her friends ecstatic, her friends ecstatic she's dropped the dead weight of the cheating boyfriend, urge her to get away for the holiday and take some time for herself. Not sure if that'll fix anything, but willing to try, she books a last minute trip to a world renowned mistletoe mountain resort. Noelle boards the plane with the promise of peace and relaxation on the horizon. Snow King, and this is his name,
Wow.
Snow King is stuck in
That-
a rut, believing himself undeserving of joy and pleasure after suffering more than one devastating loss, one he still shoulders the blame for. Even with supportive family and friends, he still prefers solitude. Every year, instead of trudging through the painful memories of Christmas, he takes a solo trip to escape the holiday cheer. Typically, that's anywhere that doesn't remind him of the season. But this year, his well meaning assistant books him a trip to the North Pole reincarnate. So this resort is like just everything Christmas that he doesn't want. Okay, so and I love this too because it's like a meet cute type situation. So an
Mhm.
overbooking incident,
Oh.
one disrobed guest, and a
Oh Lord.
nasty run in with a pepper spray
Oh, wait.
tells the Christmas story in a way you won't believe.
Oh
So
Lord.
that right there just tell you
Yeah. Not the pepper spray. Okay.
the way that they meet is hilarious. And
Uh-huh.
okay, so it's a mix up with the cabin. So
Yeah.
that's where the forced proximity comes in
Yeah.
because they have to share this cabin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's the grump, and she's, even though she's dealing with heartbreak, she still has this sunny disposition, which I love. And the more that they get to know each other, she brings him out uh, grudgingly at first, where he starts actually enjoying the activities that she's dragging him to with
Okay.
that involves Christmas, because this whole resort is all about Christmas. So
Oh
everything they do
wow.
has that Christmas feel.
Mm-hmm.
They even go feed the reindeer and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you definitely get the Christmas feel all throughout the story. And I
Yeah.
just love their dynamic because they're actually dealing, both of them, especially him, dealing with some serious trauma. So it's some heavy stuff going on as well as the lighthearted stuff. But I think the author did a great job balancing it. And again, like I said, Noelle, she brings out the lighter side in him once he lets start letting down his guard more and more. And then he's attracted to her too, which also gives him pause in the beginning because he doesn't want to put himself out there again.
Oh,
Now, what I love too is the family dynamics. I love how close he is with his brothers.
okay. Okay.
And then I love Noelle and her sister. Noelle is like the kind, cheery, and her sister is very blunt
Oh
and
Lord.
but they're very close. They're very close.
Yeah.
Um, and then they have a best friend, Eve, that's also in the story, and she's also dealing with some stuff. But it was so well done, so good, and I got all the feels for the Christmassy stuff. Plus, I got a solid story because actually, when I thought the story could end,
Mm-hmm.
once they leave the resort,
Right.
it would have been uh, still great if they had ended. But you still, after they leave, you get more of the story as far as how do they navigate once they leave the resort.
And sometimes that makes me a little nervous because I'm
Mhm.
thinking like, oh Lord, now something
Yep. Are
else
they
is
gonna be
about to
are they
happen.
gonna be able to yep? Are they gonna be able to navigate
Right.
their newfound whatever they're trying to do because they're not calling the relationship or anything when they're back in the real world.
Right.
So
Hmm.
we get that after they leave the resort and another maybe 50, 60 pages maybe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's yeah, so she goes deep with it,
Okay.
and it's just so well done to the point. Like I said, I want to read the rest of some more of her work.
So there's three brothers, you said.
And
So
then the rest of the
that's
series is each brother.
so Snow. There's Snow. The last name is King, or there's
Yep,
just
last name is King, and they're billionaires. They run the family business.
uh huh.
They all have had some kind of like trauma in the way, or heartbreak, I should say.
Right.
Um, the oldest brother, Winter, should have been they lost their father as well, and so Winter should have been the CEO after that by him being the oldest, but he totally fell apart. So the
Oh.
middle brother Snow had to step up and take on everything to
Right.
keep the business going and all of that.
Hmm.
And then they have their youngest brother, which is North.
Right.
So Winter, Snow, and North.
Oh my goodness. So are the girls, the women, their names the same? Like Noel.
No, actually, okay. Is Noelle Frost, and her sister is it's still wintry though. Is Aspen.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah. That
then
is
the
true.
best friend is Eve.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But so well done, and I highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't read it. Um,
Mm.
I think you will enjoy it. Very well, very well
That might be it. That might
done.
be it. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'm gonna add that because I think I'm on number 9, so I have a few left to get to.
Yep, I'm about to put out my 10th one um, today
Uh huh.
that I started because I was trying to decide which one I was going to read next. And
Hmm.
what's her name? Kimberly Lawson Roby just put out one, and I had caught it while the price was still down, so I'm glad I did because it went up
Yeah.
already. It went up already. It's called Christmas Prayer.
Yes, I saw that this morning, and I meant to look into that. Yep, I did see that. I think it came through
And
email. And I saw
so
that.
I started that already. I just need to put it in the challenge on the page.
Okay.
And then that'll be my 10th. And then I have to look at which ones I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try yours out too, the Inkless, and then it was a couple more on there that from the other some of the other ones that I thought would be interesting to check out. So I'm probably gonna go over my 12, but as long as I make it to the 12.
Right.
Yeah, a couple people already made it to 12, so I need to shout them out in the on
Yeah.
the page. Yeah. But everybody in the audience, thank you so much for coming out, and I hope you give the books a try, as well as I hope you wrote down Marlee Rae's recommendations, her bookshelf recs, which is something new we started on the show a couple of months ago, where we asked the author to also give us their picks off their bookshelves. Um, So I'm going to check out the ones that she recommended, and then make sure to check out Macy by
Yes.
um, Marlee Rae, and then Anuri by Bailey West. They're writing partners, so they write together sometimes. And then Roots to the Sky. That's a Juneteenth novella. That also was really good. So I highly recommend that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
And once you, and also check out, like Ola is going to do, Brown Sugar, which is part of the She Is series. It's 3 books. Actually, it's 4 because the Christmas book is a 4th book, but it's, you can read it out of, you can read the Christmas book alone. But the other 3 books you want to read in order. But
Because the
very,
way
very well.
the listed in here, She Is series is before the Love Movement series with the Slick and the Wet. She was talking about, and then the Something About Love series.
Yeah, the Something About Love series was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And those characters are talked about in the She Is series, and Slick, Wet, and Ride also, I believe, is before the She Is series as well, because she said it on the
Okay.
last show.
Okay.
And all of those are the other siblings books,
Okay.
because there's a lot of them because it's a blended family.
Right. 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 That makes sense.
And very, 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 very well done. And I, like I told her, I already started the oldest brother's book. I had to put it down because I had to finish reading some other stuff. But
Yeah, I love her writing. I love
hmm
I love
yeah.
it.
So you won't just be disappointed, everyone, if you check her out. And
Mm-hmm.
also, if you haven't read Bailey West, check her out as well. And if you haven't seen their previous broadcasts, please go back on YouTube or Facebook and check those out as well. It was a good discussion, both of them. All righty. Thanks again for coming out. This was a great discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I appreciate it. And this is the last show for this year.
Wow.
We will be doing a books and mimosas, which is the our top picks, but that will be on January 3rd. I think I told you all the December 29th last week, but it's have been moved to Saturday, January 3rd. So I hope you all can join us for that, where we give our top 7. It's really top 5 with 2 honorable mentions, but it's top 7 altogether for the year 2025. So I hope you can join us for that as well. Erica is saying something about love is first, Katina.
Oh, okay.
Then it's Slick, Wet, and Ride.
Okay.
Only Wet is one of the siblings from the She Is series. Oh, only Wet? Okay, I thought all of them were. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
the others are friends. Okay. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, I'm thinking it was all the siblings of the series. Siblings. Okay. Hmm. All
And
right.
the
So,
thunder.
I remember on the last show though, she did tell us that the first book is Macon and Dawn, and Dawn is and Dre, and Dawn is and Macon is the She Is brother. She Is series brother, a brother of
Ah,
the She Is series sisters. So he's their brother basically,
okay. Got it. Got it.
and Dawn is his wife, and Dre is her best friend, and Dre is gonna end up with Tanya
Yeah.
from the She Is series.
Okay.
And you got some of Tanya and Dre and
Yeah.
yeah,
And Roots to the
yeah.
Sky. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
But thank you, everyone. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button. And we'll see you on the next show, which is our spinoff show. It's still books. It's still the Book Buzz show, but it's books and mimosas where we do our top. So I hope you join us on the 3rd for that. Just keep a lookout on the Book Buzz show page, and it'll be up there. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great evening, everyone.